Hi, and welcome to our skills training project for Motor Control and Learning 230. This presentation is brought to you by Maddison, Kowal, Loui, Sikaris and Amy Yoffa, and our chosen skill is tap dancing. One-dimensional classification has the skill as serial, as tap dancing is a sequence of discrete skills, gross, as it involves control over large muscle groups, and closed, as tap dancing is not affected by non-regulatory conditions. Gentile's two-dimensional taxonomy has a skill as 11. This is due to its classification being moving and fixed, combined with body transportation only and no object manipulation. Looking at Fits and Poses' three-stage learning model, the learner will begin in the cognitive stage with possible progression to the associative stage. As the skills training program is only 4 weeks in duration, this is not enough time for the learner to progress into the autonomous stage. The key aspects of tap dancing that we have decided to focus on are foot movements, posture, rhythm and tempo, and timing. Sports that will have a positive transfer of skill are those such as rhythmic gymnastics, other forms of dance, or sports where synchronization is required. To measure the performance and learning of the novice, they were tested using both quantitative and qualitative measures. A pre- and post-retention test was conducted to measure the novice's learning. This test required the learner to perform the tap dance sequence, where they were then marked on the number of mistakes made and their posture. A transfer test was also conducted to measure the adaptability of the learner in their new skill. For this, we changed the music from a constant beat to a song with lyrics. This will be shown later in the video, but first, here is the pre-retention test.
The retention tests were scored out of 5 components being foot placement, rhythm, balance, coordination, and overall posture and performance, so out of a total of 5, and only getting a maximum of 1 point for each. In the first retention test, the participant got a total of 1 in foot placement, 1 in rhythm, 0 in balance, and 0.5 coordination, and 0 in overall posture and performance, giving them a total of 2.5 out of 5.
We have chosen 3 steps progressing from beginner, intermediate through to advanced for the learner to develop during the 4-week program. The beginning step is as follows.
Tap, tap, heel, step. Tap, 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 heel, step.
The intermediate step is as follows.
Tap, heel, swipe, toe, heel. Tap, heel, swipe, toe, heel.
The advanced step is as follows.
Toe, toe, swipe, back, toe, toe, swipe, back, heel, heel.
Is the verbal keywords that will be used through the program to enhance the novice's learning, especially during week 1 of the program.
During the 4-week program, the learner will undertake 1 mass practice with the teacher of 1 hour with 3 shorter practices of 10 minutes at home. During weeks 3, we'll also introduce 1 15-minute imagery practice. We have introduced this later into the program to allow the learner to get a feeling of what the steps should feel like and use this as the basis of imagery training. During week 1 of the program, the main focus will be learning the 3 tap steps. First, the learner will watch the teacher perform the steps at normal speed before being shown the breakdown of the steps. Training should be facilitated by a mirror, as this will help the progress of visual learners. The learner will be shown their most amount of mistakes during this week. The most amount of feedback will be provided to the learner, but will not be provided every time an attempt has been made, as to encourage implicit learning early on. Verbal feedback will include encouragement and technical corrections. The 10-minute practices for this week will look at the continuing of their learning from the massed practice of learning to the sequence of each step. During week 2 of the program, the main focus will be on rhythm. Implicit learning will advance the learner's rhythm the most rather than explicit, as this needs to be driven by the learner. The verbal cues this week will change to timing counts.
Begin a step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Intermediate step. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 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 Advanced step. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Heel, heel. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Heel, heel.
The 10-minute practices of this week will continue their learning from the mass practice of timing and rhythm of the individual steps. During week 3 of the program, the main focus will be posture. The learner will be encouraged to hold their head up, straight back, and movement of arms. The importance of practicing with a mirror this week will help to advance the learner, as they can see if they can make a mistake and correct themselves. The 10-minute practices of this week will continue their learning of the massed practice for posture in front of a mirror. During week 4 of the program, the main focus will be combining the 3 steps and putting them together as a complete step. The importance of practicing these 3 steps in a serial sequence will help to advance the learner, as the dance will progress from a step-by-step movement to an entire performance. And in the second retention test, participants scored 1 in foot placement, 1 in rhythm, 1 in balance, and 0.5 in coordination. And that total came to a 3.5. So there was a 1-point difference between the 2 retention tests. The major improvements over this 4th week included a fluidity between the steps from the segregated steps, as well as balance and, of course, the confidence that was displayed by the participant.
Overall, the learner remained in the cognitive stage as shown by the post-retention test. The next step with this learner would be to go back and improve their posture to hopefully progress them to an advanced stage in the future. Please note that the references used for this project are mainly in the areas of the mentioned positive transfer skills, as there was little to no research looking at motor skill learning and tap dancing.